I've played on the OG-SMP for a while now. When I first joined the server, as many other players, I saw it as a way more traditional style of SMP. I was brought in by that. But the OG-SMP has changed a lot since then. It's really not the same server it used to be. What happened? Well, let's start at the very beginning. When the SMP first released, it was fairly different from other SMPs. For all it did have classic features such as /home and /spawn, it also had quite a few unique features. It used 1.8 combat and had a crafting recipe for enchanted golden apples. Although this was initially praised, as you can probably imagine, it was a pretty funky PvP system that some players heavily despised. With the SMP came its rep system, where players would be able to give or take away rep from other players. An important feature of this system was punishments for bad rep, such as your coordinates being displayed at all times and your ability to teleport being taken away. This system was meant as a way for griefers and scammers to get natural punishments for their actions, as not only would they have certain disadvantages, their actions would also be known to anyone who checks their reps. Although having direct disadvantages for low reps sounds like a good thing, the main effect it had was forcing players who already spent most of their time in the war zone to stay there. As if they went to their base, the coordinates of their base would be leaked. Because of this, their only option was to stay at spawn, in the war zone, PvPing and killing, which meant they'd keep racking up more negative reps. On the 21st of August, 2021, the server was reset. Along with the reset came the removal of several features, such as 1.8 combat mechanics and the ability to craft enchanted golden apples. This event was, and still kinda is, very controversial, with many players at the time heavily criticizing the decision to reset. Some players were so triggered by the reset that they made their own OG-SMP knockoff that had no resets. This server was called True OG and was owned by a very controversial figure in the community named Alex Noyle. As you can imagine, Noyle and the OG Network's owner, Mr. Epic, did not get along well. As for the era of the second SMP's prime, there were still some things that needed fixing. Like, for example, consistently increasing elytra prices. There were as well duplication glitches that allowed players to get stacks of expensive items such as netherite blocks. Additionally, there were issues with the combat plugin, with people being able to log out in combat and log in hours later and their stuff dropping then. That way they could get it back safely. Many players despised this issue with the combat plugin, while others utilized it. The OG-SMP had a fairly active PvP community, with players being able to log on at about any time of day and find players that spawned to fight. The server's meta was basically what most people would consider an SMP game, as there were pros with the default cooldown on combat and no crystals on the war zone. Although it was active, PvP on the server had several issues. Apart from the fact that people could easily combat log with little consequences, for all that issue existed at least, there also that people could easily escape death by spamming pearls. Additionally, people could run out of the war zone and camp with crystals. And if you didn't already think that's bad, because of the server's lag, it's extremely difficult to land critical hits or combo people. A notable part of the server's unique features was the casino. The casino was frequently enabled and disabled due to the amount of glitches that it had. On December 15th, 2022, Rep had a big update. Rep punishments were removed, and reps expire after a month. This change was quickly welcomed by the community, as the old rep system was often abused. While one of the server's main selling points is that it isn't, quote, pay-to-win garbage, it does have one or two pay-to-win features. When I say this, I'm referring to the extra home slots that players receive for purchasing their donor ranks. These additional homes provide a significant advantage as they allow players to have extremely easy access to multiple faraway locations at once. It is important to note that this isn't necessarily pay-to-win, as it's an advantage that doesn't affect the experience of others. On the 22nd of March, 2023, players can now AFK in an area under spawn to get money as they AFK. This change is presumably to up the player count, so the server looks significantly more active on server voting/advertisement websites. After all of this, the owners of the server were set on eventually resetting the server's map once again. The Fancy Gamer, the server's co-owner, stated regarding a second SMP that it could exist parallel with the current SMP. The second SMP with land claims will come first. That second SMP will reset too on interval. Is OG Network even still what it aimed to be? Does additional set homes for donors and AFKing for automatic money reflect the original purpose of the server? Is there any way to improve the general quality of the server? Here's what I do. First off, give people additional homes for reaching certain numbers of votes. On top of that, you could give guilds a guild home that anyone in the guild can teleport to. And give guilds more guild homes for being at a higher guild level. To help the state of PvP, increase the Pearl cooldown to 10 seconds. And last but not least, get rid of the AFK for money to increase the value of other money-making methods. Don't get me wrong, there are some really fun experiences I've had on the server, and I think it's better than a lot of other servers today. Though I do think there are some things that need changing. A big part of the reason OG-SMP doesn't seem as appealing to me anymore is I found better alternatives that do better what OG-SMP is good at. Servers such as Purity Vanilla and Uneasy Vanilla do an exceptionally good job at providing the vanilla experience that I was looking for when I first joined OG-SMP. Good day.